Two people can earn the same salary and still end up with completely different financial futures. One slowly builds security, investments, and freedom. The other slowly drifts toward financial pressure without even realizing it. And here's the unsettling part. The person getting poorer rarely feels it happening. There's no dramatic collapse, no obvious warning, just small, ordinary habits quietly pushing their financial life in the wrong direction. Imagine two neighbors living in the same apartment building. They leave for work every morning. They earn roughly the same income. From the outside, both lives look comfortable. But 10 years later, their realities look very different. One quietly owns assets. Investments grow in the background. And if a bad job appears, they can walk away. The other is still stuck in the same cycle. Bills, stress, paycheck to paycheck. And the strange part is, income was never the real difference. The difference was behavior. Small financial decisions that felt completely normal at the time. But over the years, those decisions quietly pushed one person closer to freedom, and the other further away from it. Today, we're looking at 9 signs someone may actually be getting poorer, even if their life still looks stable. And number 3 is especially dangerous, because many people mistake it for success. Let's start with sign number 9. Sign number 9 is automatic lifestyle upgrades. Every time income increases, lifestyle rises with it. A slightly nicer apartment, a newer car, better restaurants, more expensive vacations. Individually, none of these choices feel irresponsible. They feel like progress. But this is where the psychology quietly shifts. When lifestyle grows at the same speed as income, wealth never has room to grow. Someone earning $60,000 and saving $10,000 each year is slowly building a future. But someone earning $100,000 while spending $98,000 is financially standing still. Think about that for a moment. Income increased, but freedom didn't. Over time, lifestyle inflation becomes one of the quietest financial traps. Sign number 8 is feeling rich when you spend. For many people, spending money creates the emotional feeling of success. Buying something new, upgrading something old, walking out of a store with something expensive. For a brief moment, it feels powerful. But real wealth rarely creates that feeling. Real wealth usually feels quiet, sometimes even a little boring, because instead of appearing in purchases, it appears in assets, investments, ownership, cash reserves. This is why many genuinely wealthy people appear surprisingly ordinary. Their money isn't being displayed. It's being positioned. Money gets louder when it's insecure. Sign number 7 is losing awareness of where your money goes. Early in someone's financial journey, they track everything: budgets, expenses, subscriptions. But as income grows, attention often fades. People assume they're doing fine. After all, the bills are being paid. But here's the strange part. Financial leaks are rarely dramatic. They appear in small, repeating decisions: streaming services, convenience spending, frequent delivery orders. Individually, they seem harmless. But together, they quietly drain thousands of dollars every year. And most people don't notice until much later. Let that sink in for a moment. Sign number 6 is financing your lifestyle instead of building it. Debt itself isn't always bad. Used strategically, it can build businesses or assets. But many people use it for something very different. They use it to maintain appearances. Cars financed longer than necessary. Furniture bought on monthly payments. Vacations slowly paid off over time. From the outside, life still looks comfortable. But underneath, future income is already committed. And that creates a dangerous cycle. Because money that already belongs to debt cannot build wealth. Now the psychology becomes even more subtle. Sign number 5 is constantly comparing your lifestyle to others. Social comparison quietly shapes spending decisions. A coworker buys a new car. A friend upgrades their home. Someone you follow online takes luxury trips. Without realizing it, these comparisons slowly shift your expectations. Suddenly, your lifestyle feels smaller, even if it was perfectly comfortable before. But here's the truth most people overlook. Comparison destroys financial discipline, because someone will always appear to be doing better. The richest people often look the most ordinary, and the moment someone stops competing financially, their wealth usually begins to grow faster. Before we continue, here's something worth mentioning. If you enjoy understanding the psychology behind real wealth, subscribe to Wealth Habits, because most people never learn these lessons until it's too late. Now, let's continue. Because the next sign quietly damages more financial futures than almost anything else. Sign number 4 is prioritizing comfort over long-term growth. Comfort feels good. A stable job, a predictable routine, minimal risk. But long-term wealth often requires some discomfort. Learning new skills, investing consistently, making decisions that benefit the future instead of the present. People who slowly drift toward financial pressure often choose comfort in every area. Comfort spending, comfort careers, comfort routines. But here's the strange reality. Short-term comfort often creates long-term pressure, while short-term discipline creates long-term freedom. Sign number 3 is believing a high income automatically creates wealth. This belief quietly destroys financial progress, because income and wealth are not the same thing. There are countless people earning extremely high salaries, while building very little net worth. At the same time, others earning modest incomes slowly accumulate meaningful assets. The difference isn't income, it's behavior. One person spends most of what they earn. The other consistently converts income into ownership. Stocks, businesses, real estate. Over time, assets begin replacing income. And that's when financial life truly starts to change. Sign number 2 is avoiding financial thinking altogether. Some people simply avoid thinking about money deeply. They avoid looking at numbers. They avoid long-term planning. They avoid asking uncomfortable questions. It feels easier in the moment, but avoiding financial awareness slowly creates long-term vulnerability. Because the economy doesn't pause for anyone, inflation continues, expenses rise, opportunities appear and disappear. People who build wealth stay curious about money. They learn, they analyze, they adjust. Financial awareness quietly becomes one of their greatest advantages. And finally, sign number 1. The most subtle sign someone may be getting poorer is believing nothing needs to change. Financial decline rarely feels dramatic. It feels normal, comfortable, routine. And that's exactly why it goes unnoticed for so long. But the moment someone begins questioning their habits, their spending, their priorities, their long-term direction, everything begins to shift. Because wealth is rarely built through one big decision. It's built through hundreds of small decisions that quietly compound over time. And that brings us back to the two people we talked about earlier. Same income, same city, same opportunities, but completely different financial futures. Their salaries were never the difference. Their habits were. The loudest money gets attention, but the quietest money builds freedom.